Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation hosted by CJ Abernathy for South Dakota District 23 Senate 2020. A father, an activist, a Marine Corps combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, Purple Heart recipient with a bachelor's degree in information technology software engineering. CJ is the executive producer for the Adam vs. the Man podcast with Adam Kokesh, and the CEO of Internet Warlords, the War for the Internet, as well as a former 2018 South Dakota Libertarian gubernatorial candidate, and a 2020 South Dakota delegate to the Libertarian National Convention. If you would like to join this broadcast, click the link in the description. Coffee and a Conversation starts now. Have a great day or don't. The choice is always yours.
Statist. Oh, morning, folks. You know what I just realized? I forgot the link for everybody who might want to join, because this is an open discussion this morning. So let me go ahead. If you're watching on YouTube, sorry, it just won't be there today. But this is an open discussion about the election. And, man, I'm going to just start it off right off the bat by saying that there are a lot of people in this country that are comfortable with their own slavery. They are okay with it. And then it got me thinking. It really did. I've been really thinking about this ever since Walter Block's interview on the show, taking some time in the cornfields of South Dakota to finally tune my thought process on this. If you truly own yourself, if you have self-ownership, if you are the person that owns your body, every inch, the product of your labor, if your vote represents that freedom, don't you think that technically you can lose your freedom by voting it away too? And to me, that's what's happening and has been happening on this slow decline, at least over the last, every election that I've been alive. The public has constantly consented to being slaves. But CJ, how can you say they're consenting to be slaves? Slavery is a bad thing. Well, the founding fathers of this country did not believe that slavery was necessarily a bad thing. They believed that you had the right to sell yourself into slavery. They believed that you had the right to give your labors to somebody else. And I really want to make this point as clear as I can, that at this point in American history, it's safe to say that there are at least 100+ million people of the voting age population in this country that are okay with being slaves, that are okay with not having freedom, that they can use these words as buzzwords. Really, it's what it is. It's nice, fancy buzzwords to make you feel better for voting for whichever plantation color team you're playing for this election cycle. Well, CJ, the Libertarian Party's the gold party. It has zero chance of winning. It's not the duopoly. It's not the two parties. We've never, and I can't stress this enough, even for the retarded felon comedians out there that really had no opportunity in life other than to get funny or get fucked in jail. The ones that had to go into that mentality of life, get funny or get fucked in jail, the ones that had to live that life learned really quick to follow the trend, learned really quick to see which way the winds of change are going. And it's funny to me that we talk about wanting to be free and how great of a nation this is and how free we really are. And yet we spend hours bitching about how we're not. Days, weeks, months, years, seasons of elections after elections, we go through the same bullshit. And it dawned on me that the vote is what they want the most. They want your vote because your vote equals consent, like in permanent marker. You saying, I want to be a slave. And they realize, and this is where, again, Republicans, Democrats, Trumpophiles, pedocrats, whatever you want to call them, they're the same fucking party. They use the same tactics. They both have the extremes. They have the left and right wing of the Socialist Party of America. Antifa, Proud Boys are the results. BLM are the results of the polarization of our politics. Good morning, Matt. And good morning, Mr. Gilligan. There is no drama in the liberty movement. When I say liberty, I mean libertarian. The only drama that comes for the Libertarian Party is from Trumpophiles and pedocrats using their influence and almost shaming us for wanting to vote for our own freedom. Well, if you don't vote for my slave master, the other slave master is going to win. My slave master uses words like freedom and America. And it blows my mind that we let a small group of convicted felons who are also comedians dictate the social view of our country and politics. Now, I'm not saying these are bad people. I'm not saying that I'm saying the word felon in the way that anyone would say libertarian. I'm saying the word felon in a sense that this is what blows my mind. This is where it never fails. I mean, again, I've never been convicted of a felony. Okay, I've never been charged with a felony, and I don't sit here and go, yeah, I'm a convicted felon, and so listen to my political opinions, and then the views rack up, and for some odd reason, I just got to speak it real and talk about my boy Trump, and then all of a sudden, fat truck drivers in red states want to start sending me money because 10-4 rubber ducky, you're cool in my book, bro. It's stupid. It's annoying, and it's something that makes you feel like there's got to be a better way than this. They'll talk shit about each other. Did you see what the pedocrat did? Did you see what the Trumpophile did? And you just go in the middle and you're just like, I don't care what either of them did anymore. It's all rigged. Why do you want me to be excited about a rigged process? Why do you want me to be excited about something that is designed to keep us slaves? This system was beautifully built in order to run the country like this. They knew that at some point, if you politicize and polarize our politics, if you take 100 million people and you say, okay, all right, there's 200 million people, but we want to figure out how we can keep entire control of the country. There's 100,000, or there's 100 million people that vote. There's 100 million that don't. They can split the vote 50-50, have it be 500,000 people voted for this, 500,000 people voted for that. Well, I guess it'd be 50. It'd be 50 million. 50 million voted for this, 50 million voted for that. Either way you slice it. Either way you slice it. The majority didn't win, the minority won. The minority of voting people. If 100,000 people didn't vote and didn't give you consent, then how in this book can you say that it's the consent of the governed? This is when Trumpophiles get really stupid. Pedocrats don't even understand what I'm saying. Trumpophiles try, and then they sound really stupid because they then in turn come to find out most of them don't know what consent means. I'm just throwing that out there. But again, when you talk about the Constitution, you talk about the consent of the governed. And to me, it blows my mind, again, that so many people want to shame a libertarian vote into that same old duopoly think of, well, if you vote for A, B's going to win, and if you vote for B, A's going to win, and if you don't... This is what blows my mind the most. You know, we see where the problems are in this country. I see where the problems are in this country. I don't question why things are stupid. If you watch that Social Dilemma, you know, you can kind of see. There's another good one on there on Netflix. I think it's called The Great Hack or something like that. Explains Cambridge Analytica. When you say these things, when you talk about politics in 2020, you can't talk about it without thinking for a second that, well, maybe it is rigged. Maybe, you know, when they say Cambridge Analytica basically used people that, and this is just to the best of my understanding, if you were a useful idiot in 2016, you got pretty popular. Not really because you are something special, but because you were a useless fucking idiot in your area. They determined that you had the influence. Now, some of you might be like, hey, yeah, baller status, I got that influence, but no, that's not what you were being used for. You know, everybody thinks they're an alpha till they realize there's somebody else's beta. You know? So, again, the finer point to this problem that we're having in America is that the influence of a very small section of our population is again being controlled, manipulated. They're censoring out other messages, so it makes it so that, like, okay, I can say my party is the party of 9. Okay, follow me here. Somebody's going to come along inevitably and say, oh, you're party of 6. And I'm going to say, no, I'm the party of 9. And they'll be like, no, it looks like a 6. And so they go out and they tell everybody, oh, the party of 9 is really the party of 6. Now, the people will then vote because of what that useful idiot was saying about number 6, the part about it being 6. Does this make sense? It's probably a dumb example. So we let Trumpophiles and pedocrats define what the Libertarian Party is to other Trumpophiles and pedocrats, which in turn helps them feel better about themselves, which helps them reassure and reaffirm their vote for their own slave. Hey, you're still voting for the slave owner, right? Yeah, he's still saying freedom and shit, even though he's not really doing any of that. And then behind closed doors, there are all these videos coming out that the libertarians are sharing where he's like saying the opposite of what he's saying publicly. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're still voting for him, right? Yeah, MAGA, cool. And instead of actually addressing my concerns, the issue doesn't become about what I'm saying. It becomes about me personally. So now it'll be about CJ Abernathy instead of the actual fact. And these are all tactics. These are all useful idiot tactics that they knew the human psyche is going to do. Well, if we give this guy 10,000 views, he's going to be influential. If we funnel traffic to this guy where he's constantly getting 3,000, 4,000 viewers at a time, and all he's really talking about is circle jerks and voting for Trump, chances are that you did not grow that as organically as you think. You might have been a useful idiot. You think you did. It's designed for you to think, look at all this work I built, but really you were pre-selected because of your influence prior to. That's what they were saying. And they did it in swing states, in states that where they're working on in the future. They did it in ways where you can look at somebody and go, well, did they legitimately win that election, or was somebody outside involved? Was there voter manipulation, voter fraud, or election fraud in this case? Now, we already know social media networks like YouTube, Google, Facebook, YouTube through Google. Really crazy when you get to the YouTube through Google part. But Facebook, for certain, and proof positive. And we've seen libertarians reporting, boom, 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 profile, restricted, blocked access. We see these things. And it's proof positive of censorship. And you still think your election is a legitimate election. You still think your politics is, and this is what blows my mind. It's kind of like people that go to family court. You go to family court and you think, oh, I'm a good dad. I'm a good mom. I got a job, or I'm pretty financially sound. I can't really afford 2 homes, but I could afford for mine and my own. Just don't violate my rights. That's like politics. It's like at some point you got to lift the veil and the curtain and realize that you're most likely just a useful idiot in somebody else's playbook. That when you activate key factors of the government, they are going to activate their protocols. And it's hard to say this to people because I've fallen victim to this too. You go in thinking that it's about America and justice and truth and passion and drive for success and freedom and liberty and all these words, pursuits of happiness, your fundamental right to be a parent, and you think that you have these things and then you don't. It's gone. And then nobody's there to defend it. And by the way, did we tell you that your rights come at a cost? They were actually privileges. Oh shit, we didn't tell you that all these things that you've been thinking are rights or privileges. And they're going to be administered from you through an attorney or a lawyer. And that attorney and a lawyer is going to sniff your ass 24/7, 365 as long as you pay them right. Because really, they're just designed to separate you from your money, you from your property, and you from your children. My favorite part of people's conversations is when they're like, all Nazis are bad, except for some that are good. What? I thought we condemned all Nazis. All attorneys are bad. Wait, some attorneys are good. All cops are bad. Wait, some cops are good. There's no such thing as a good cop, and I say this with all due respect to the good cops out there. All 4 of you. But I ask you this question before I preface this. If there's really such thing as a good cop, why aren't all the good cops arresting the bad cops? And by proxy, doesn't that make you a bad cop? That's the argument. And there is a part of me that goes, yeah, I'm sure there's people that wake up every day, put on that uniform, and want to do something good. They're a lawyer that just got out of law school is like, I'm going to change the system. Eventually gets bought in. Eventually they got to feed their kids. Eventually they got to pay that mortgage on that boat. They got to pay for that golf club resort membership fee. Which means at some point somebody's going to have to give them money. And the way they're going to have to do it is extort them. So it blows my mind that we continue. And again, it's easy to dismiss the message because CJ, what an idiot. And you're designed to do this. Again, I don't need to have 100,000 people watching my broadcast at one time for me to feel like I'm speaking the truth. I don't need YouTube algorithms to show me, oh, hey, look, you're keeping the attention span of those that you already know have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds. I speak the truth because this is what is happening in our country. This is what is happening. Biden wishing Trump well over COVID. Meanwhile, if he got hit by a bus, he wouldn't shed a tear. It's like asking but again, here I am, somebody that just cares enough. You know, I listened for years. Well, CJ, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it, huh? You're just going to bitch about it, huh? You're just going to bitch about it, CJ. That's all you're going to do. You're just going to sit there and open your mouth and you're going to bitch about it. And nothing smart's going to come out and we're not going to fix the problem because all you're going to do is sit behind your computer screen instead of going and joining one of these, you know, gear queer groups, weekend warrior type and trying to stand up against BLM and Antifa. Let's talk about how you were manipulated. Let's talk about how you were fucking screwed over by your government. How they wanted to push this country into a civil war. The red side and the blue side. The banks, the ones that are profiting from it regardless. I mean, think about it. If you can go America's second civil war brought to you by Snickers. Holy fucking balls. America's second civil war. Don't forget to pay your Verizon bill. America's second civil war. Brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. This brand of ammunition brought to you by Starbucks. Starbucks, loading Antifa rifles since 2019. America's second civil war, brought to you by Lockheed Martin. The nuclear bombs that you're going to see dropping? No, I don't know. But again, you want me to vote for Trump because he's better than the kid sniffer. He's the lesser of two evils. I don't know. I think I'm going to vote for the lesser of three evils. Because, you know, again, and I'm not going to, I can't not talk about Joe Jorgensen, Spike Cohen, the Libertarian nominees for president and vice president in this conversation without it being fair and honest. I do think they have made some great efforts given the current times that we live in. They've brought out people in different states to events that have been organic, that have been truly informational and available for people to come up and ask questions. I think they've had bigger rallies than Biden. I mean, we have to understand, and again, this is what blows my mind, is that Trump can literally, if you're a father, I know there's a convicted felon out there who's proud of that, you know, and changed his life, and now he's a huge social media influencer. But he's a father. And here he's a father of girls. And you're telling me that if one of your daughters, 15, gets elected for Miss Teen Universe, goes in and goes to the dressing room, and the owner of said pageant likes to walk around, especially while they're getting naked, you're gonna tell me that as a father, you're okay with your 15-year-old girl being in that situation? Let alone the fact that you're gonna vote for the man that put girls in that situation, that put fathers in that situation. And you're going to tell me as a father that if I don't vote for that guy, the other guy's going to win. And that guy, he sniffs kids publicly. At least the other guy did it in private, in his own private business. It blows my fucking mind. It blows my mind. Oh, good morning, Mercedes. I see you there. It's almost like at some point we have to recognize that, sure, slaves want to be slaves. At some point we have to recognize that government officials are slave owners, and some of them are appointed by their masters, and they too serve, and they are into sick shit, and they are into things that you and I, as everyday Americans sitting here behind our computer screens, just trying to raise a family on our little plot of land. Maybe some of us just want to put some chickens in some goddamn backyards. But at the end of the day, they have a bigger agenda. When I say they, I mean government. When I say government, I mean who's on your ballot. And when I say who's on your ballot, I mean who are people voting for. And when I say who are people voting for, is that truly what is reflecting our politic? You want to know the biggest secret about this country once you understand this document and why people win the election and why people lose the elections when it comes to politics? Our government was not designed to have majority rule. Our government was designed to protect the minority right. It to me, once we realize that key factor, you hear people like John Oliver saying, hey, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He's most likely not going to win the popular vote in 2020. But the secret is that, and again, people want to abolish the Electoral College, but the Electoral College is really, truly the only process of determining, the libertarian me is going, ugh, but really it's the only way that we're going to have a libertarian president at some point. It's a hard factor and reality to have to deal with, and again, I'm open to anybody disagreeing. You can click the link, join the broadcast, and give me your thoughts. But the point I'm trying to get at is the only way that we're going to have a libertarian president is by doing what it takes to get a libertarian third party president. It blows my mind. How many times I'm going to say this today? That the Republican Party, the Trumpophiles, they've turned it from the Republicans to Trumpophiles. It's Trump with the word pedophile put together. You are Trump lovers. You've earned this title for life, a Trumpophile. Yes, you have to register as a Trumpophile for life, especially after 2020. And there's some of you that are like, hell yeah, sign me up, brother. Let me jump off that cliff. Well, what about Jo Jorgensen? Well, she's a goddamn BLM supporter. I mean, God. It blows my mind how easily manipulated people are when it comes to politics. It blows my mind how easy it is for you to fall back into listen, they focus group, they test responses, they say, if they say this, we're saying that. And it's this perpetual game of, like when I watched John Oliver last night about his elections. Again, I'm not saying anything bad about the man himself. But when I watch this, everybody knows, I'll try to get him a better view than that. But either way, everybody knows this guy. Everybody. If you don't know John Oliver, what rock do you live under? So I haven't watched one of his videos in a minute, so I decided to watch this one, Election 2020. Conveniently, the same title here, Election 2020, I have. You don't see somebody like this guy giving you talking points that are fair and balanced and informative about all political parties' options on the table. What he's doing is giving you a 20-minute, 29-second how to regurgitate Democrat talking points back to your Republican friends. That's what this is. This is what this show is. I could show you a Republican show that does the exact same thing. There's no libertarian show that has this type of financing and backing in order to bounce back regurgitated narrative talking points for hours on end like this. So, I'll just take a selfie here real quick. Anyways, it blows my mind because at the end of the day, I want people to be free. I don't want people to be slaves. I don't want people to listen to a 20-minute John Oliver piece and then go, receive my message. All right, overlords, I now know what I have to say. If Trumpophiles say this, and this, I know how to say that, and that. If pedocrats know how to say this, and this, I will respond with this, and this. Mercedes, you have 5 minutes until your thing. I didn't know if you wanted to say hi or not, but yeah, or if you're watching backstage. But good morning. Hi. How you doing? You're backstage. You look lovely today. How you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you for asking.
Are you going to be doing some government stuff today?
I am. How could you tell?
Right. Well, I'm assuming that you're not getting all dolled up to go on Adam versus the Man.
No. Maybe it was for my self-confidence. I mean, you don't know.
Well, maybe. I guess I could go put on my Sunday best and put on some pearls and try to, yeah.
Yes, I have a candidate for a meeting with AARP in 5 minutes.
Okay, well, you've got 5 minutes, so I can at least get 2 questions out for you, Mercedes. Okay. Since you're in candidate mode.
Yes.
How do you handle duopoly voters and their trained narrative control that clearly that they are under?
So, as in what? Like any propaganda they spill?
Yeah,
I
take
general. It. So I'm taking the meet them where they are principle. So that means I need to know where they're at and where they think. So we engage in conversation, and they give me the Joe Jorgensen just wants to defend everything and make us die. And then I say, that's actually kind of true, but not really. She actually just wants to give us a choice in what government programs we are engaged in instead of just being forced to pay taxes and not actually getting that benefit because of the way it's set up. So maybe we could talk about it in a libertarian way.
So meet them where they are is an improvisation that social workers use to help create meaningful conversations.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, so what you're doing is you're saying, hey, you're over here. I'm gonna come meet you where you're at, and we'll go from there.
Yes.
All right.
My eyeliner doesn't look very good either.
What do you need?
It
a
looks
mirror?
uneven.
Do you need a mirror, Mercedes?
No, I think I'm just gonna go with it and just look at him from this side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you can use it. You can test your framing if you want. You know?
Well, I don't. It's gonna be on Zoom, so honestly.
Oh, well, yeah. Are you gonna share it to your page?
So they're not doing it live. They're gonna do it recorded. So as soon as I can, yes. And I am working on getting where I'm at on the internet all consolidated to my website because I had a disrupt the vote candidate prep for today because I care about my elders and this is kind of important. And
yeah, you're taking an opposite approach to me, man. I'm telling you, Mercedes, out here, I took the approach of we just need to let the elderly die and have herd immunity. And they were like, I was like, well, technically you had your time on this planet. You know?
So some elders and I do talk like that.
It was a joke.
But some of us do talk like that because some of the elders do feel that way.
we laugh to stop from crying.
Okay, yeah. I do have to go though. I love you. I'll be back if you're still on. Okay, bye.
Later, Mercedes. Thanks for coming on. We'll still do this without Mercedes here. We can go to her website and see. We still have 27 days, 15 hours, 2 minutes left of this torture known as the election 2020. Go to votemercedes.com and help her out in that way too. See, she's doing candidate stuff today. That's cool. That's cool. Meet them where they're at. That's another one. Unfortunately, I was going to say that I don't think a lot of these people are there. Like, they might be too far away. I look at the extremes, Proud Boys, stand back and stand by, turned into Fuck them. Who are they? I condemn them. You know? Antifa getting condemned by the campaign of the pedocrats. They're useful idiots. Again, I go back to popular people in 2016 were most likely not organically grown. They'll believe it. They'll believe it because my computer numbers show I reached millions. No, you were a useful idiot, pre-selected because you had influence. And again, they'll say, but see, I had that influence. But you were the useful idiot. They knew what you were going to do. They knew you weren't going. They controlled and manipulated you. And so when you know these facts, when you know the truth, when you sit here and you go, it wasn't a legitimate election. Am I saying Trump lost? No, because we all accepted, well, most of us accepted that they were going to do this. And this is it. Because the Republican Party is not 51% of the voting population. If this was the Libertarian Party, they wouldn't have enough to get to 51. And I'm all for if you ask me, CJ, you've been bitching about this now for 35 minutes. Give me a fucking solution. It's a simple solution. We fix the problem by balancing the rule book and how it's played. So, first off, to qualify for a debate, it's not these arbitrary rules made by the two sexual predator party classes. Those aren't, that's not how this needs to work. First off, we abolished that altogether by saying if you have ballot access in all 50 states plus DC, if that's what you want to set the benchmark at, we fix it by saying that you qualify for all presidential debates based off of ballot access. That's your first issue. Your second issue will solve itself when you get to hear the other opponents debating. There is nothing I can't imagine if we stuck Joe Jorgensen in that first debate. It wouldn't have been this shit show back and forth where both sides think they won garbage. It would have been an actual debate because they would have had to address the porcupine in the room. They would have had to address the woman in the room. They would have had to address the libertarian in the room. And so it doesn't help the mainstream media. It doesn't help anybody that is making money off of this slavery system to include somebody who's like, hey, I'm not going to be your slave owner. In our party's founding message, you own yourself, and we won't use violence of the state against you for our political purpose. It's literally the only party that has this in their platform. You're voting for a party, whether you vote for a pedophile Republican or a pedophile Democrat. You're voting for a fucking slave owner. Where nowhere in there, they don't have it in there saying you have self-ownership. They created a government where they have civil asset forfeiture. Where they have a bail system that's designed to keep you in there without the ability to pay, which is a debtor's prison, which is unconstitutional. They extort your parental rights, your fundamental liberty interest to be a parent, and drain Social Security subsequently at the same time. These are all things that both parties are doing at the same exact time. They just want control over the buttons. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Just give us control over the buttons for these 4 to 8 years. There has never been a libertarian president. There has never been a libertarian governor. There has never been somebody that's been elected as a libertarian and governed as a libertarian. We've never had this. Now, one thing that we have had, and I, it's pretty easy to Let's see. Here we go. I like to use this one a lot. So, as you can see, oh, hold on. I got to turn this down. As you can see, we've had multiple parties. We have had third parties, fourth parties. I think even at one point we had 5 parties. And so, as you can see this, it used to be 2 parties. Look at Democratic Republican used to be a thing. Look, at one point, they were all from the same party running for president. And you know what? I wonder if they all 4 got to debate. So you sit here and you go, huh, anti-Masonic party. Look, 5 parties. Look at 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with 3 of them being from the same party. And so you go and you watch this and you see Whig and Democrat. That used to be the 2-party duopoly back in that day. Oh, then a Republican came along and lost, and then came a Republican that won. And again, you can watch it. And now starts the endless duopoly vote. It's never ending. There's no choice. Oh, what was this? A populist. Doesn't Trump say he's a populist? And then it blows my mind how people are like, hey, Trump's a populist. But yet, man, Trump was a libertarian just a week ago. It blows my mind, but you can see it. You can see the history of our election. There it is, the populist vote, Weaver. And you can see that he actually won some states. So for people out there that are so retarded in their history to say a third party candidate can never win, no, but they can impact the outcome of an election. And they can't. And then went back to the 2-party duopoly, most likely vote shaming. And, oh, there we go. A progressive party got in there. Won South Dakota of all fucking states. Of all states. Won Meth Dakota. Teddy Roosevelt. Of course Teddy Roosevelt won. And again, this is a year that really fucking changed the face of the country. This really was, you know, it's been said that Roosevelt split the Republican vote, and Democrats won in every, almost damn near every state where it mattered. So again, we're stuck in this 2-party endless duopoly, and look at how it changes over time. It changes over time. Look at that. Look at this year. From Coolidge and Hoover to Roosevelt. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, you explain this to me. Look at that. Look at that. Only 2 states. After Roosevelt, Hoover, they went to Roosevelt, Landon, and then look, only 2 states voted Republican. South Dakota was a Democrat state, and then all of a sudden, here comes the rise of the Central State Republicans, the cattle ranchers. Oh, look at this. Let's go back. Okay. Oh, hold on. There it is. Thurman, States' Rights Democrat. Now that's the one where they're like, hey, isn't that the KKK? It blows my mind. So before a Republican tells me that a third party can't win, well, their party is a third party that did win. Look at that. Only one state didn't vote for Richard Nixon, and that was Massachusetts. Only one state. And Nixon was going to be impeached and then had to resign. Crazy, huh? And again, look at that. Only one state didn't vote for Reagan. And then came Bush, and they were like, oh, wait a minute. We better wake up. And then came Clinton and Dole and Bush. Bush v. Gore. That was quite a race, wasn't it? And now it's starting to look more like the state map we see today. Did you see Nebraska there? Nebraska has electors that aren't beholden to that, so they gave most likely one, two, or two to Obama, one to McCain. Either way, they don't owe them that. Obama, Romney, I think that's about as far as it gets. But yeah, let's just go back in time real quick. And so you're telling me that this election is predetermined, that this election is impossible. I refuse to believe, because history has shown that the majority of Americans are prone to changing their political views. As much as the mainstream says, no, you're a Republican voter, you're a Republican for life. They want that, of course. But I think that change comes inevitably. And I think at some point, and I like to believe that at some point the Republican Party and the Democrat Party will wake up and see the error of their ways, that they'll see that, again, they've contributed to the death and destruction and murder and pillaging and raping of resources in other countries, endless wars, profiteering resources, through force and violence and coercion and fraud. So you ask me, well, CJ, you say you're voting for Jo Jorgensen. So why? Why? Well, first and foremost, she's the better human in the race. She's the better person in the contest, and I truly mean that. You can take any of your criticisms for Jo Jorgensen. You can take and for Spike as well. If they're constructive, I'm sure that for example, if there's an issue that you care about, that's you're passionate about, instead of bitching about why they're not talking about it, figure out where to meet them where they're at. See what I did there? Meet them where they're at. And take it to them. You might find that your faith is easily restored. It blows my mind how many people would rather sit there and define what they think a libertarian is online, and then having never either been to a meeting. It's almost like it's kind of like a brain surgeon having to listen to a tomato grower talk about brain surgery. It's like the tomato grower don't know shit about brain surgery, but the brain surgeon doesn't talk about growing tomatoes, now does he? I know what a Republican is. A Republican is somebody who's a fucking idiot. I know what a Democrat is. It's somebody who's a fucking idiot. And me saying these words are not going to make somebody wake up and go, oh, God, CJ out there in South Dakota thinks I'm an idiot. I better change my vote, and then have everybody socially outcast me from my, boat club or my meeting on Zoom where we circle jerk the president and vice president, and whoever says the most hateful thing towards our commander in chief, then they're out of the group, excommunicated. So I wouldn't want you to do that to yourself. My social circle and the social circle jerk I like to get involved in on every Saturday night. Or another one. my donating base, most of my donators are Trumpophiles, and if I start being critical of Trump, then I'm not going to get donations. If I would have sat here and sucked Trump's dick 24/7, and I would have turned my life in front of this camera into how well I could blow the president of the United States and his ego, I'm sure I would be making money as well. I'm sure I would be making hand over fist. You know, the deeper I can get it, the more money I would make. Boom. I got a new CD, Killing the Neighbors. Pretty cool. Signed by Madchild and Tom McDonald, which is pretty sweet. Anyways, that's my not election news for the day. Put that in the truck. Yes, I still have CDs. So, a few of you have been pretty consistent. I see you there, Dondre. Mercedes says she hates her life. Andrea, you did. I don't know what that even means. Chris Cole, I don't know if you're still watching. This is why I can't get much traction with being a libertarian musician who's fighting. Is that why I can't get traction with being a libertarian musician who's fighting the family courts? Well, let me break this down for you, Chris. First off, you're a libertarian, so you're already behind the curve. You're a musician, so you're super behind the curve, and you're fighting family courts, so you're like in the dungeon. Like, yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a, what do you call it? I mean, that's a trifecta of fuckery right there. Yeah. You stand on your principles. You're creative, and you're loving father is what I see out of that. You know. And if the two-party duopoly won't help you out because you're not condoning having a sex offender as president, then I mean, again, when you break it down to the dumbest of cruxes, and you're just like, how is the world this stupid? Oh, I don't know. Either way, it was an open discussion. I was trying to make it to an hour. I got flies fucking on my screen over here. I don't think I'm going to make it this morning. Unless you guys want to call in, join up. But either way, I'm going to go get ready for Adam versus the Man. I mean, the coffee show's back, at least for, another 26 days. 5 days a week. Sit right here and tell you all, well, we're fucked again today. And it's not because we have the worst principles or the worst candidates. It's because we have a artificially manufactured slave plantation acting as a government and a small sect of slaves that think we can be free. And it's a beautiful process. It really is. I hate being right about this. Again, Trumpophiles will dismiss me because I called their fearless leader a pedophile. Pedocrats will dismiss me because I called their fearless leader a pedophile. Adam didn't do this one. So, you know what? I'm going to do this one. And I don't know if he's got the plan to do it or not. But I think I've got enough time to walk you down this lovely rabbit hole myself. I just got to find it in the Producers Club. Let's see. Some of you guys in the Producers Club, man. Where did it go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So let me go with open link. Will it work like that? All right, cool. Hi, Mercedes. You want to be back on for this one? This is going to be fun.
Oh God, I don't even know what I walked into because I just got done talking to old people.
Oh,
Very nice old people. I that was a very good interview.
They will never see this. You don't have to lie.
No, they really were really.
No, I'm sure they were nice. We don't want to kill old people. That's a common misconception about libertarians. We do care about older people. So, Mercedes, what do you know about the Q theory? Come on, come on.
I know exactly how Q got started because I've been following it the entire time because this has been great for me.
Okay, Mercedes. Well, this is the part of the show where we got about
I even got crazy eyes.
10 minutes to spill the beans on QAnon. So, What does it mean in the QAnon world if you test positive for COVID-19?
Is it that the government is tracking you?
Close.
Okay, then I don't know because I haven't followed this year's.
According to QAnon, you are a pedophile if you come down with COVID-19.
That's funny because I had a theory about coming down with COVID-19, but it's not being a pedophile.
No. So it is
looks like I'm a pedophile.
No. That's I don't believe in this theory. Trust
I don't
and
either.
believe. I mean,
But
but when you look at the QAnon theory, it basically the best way I can send you down the rabbit hole is to say that look at Tom Hanks.
oh yeah, Tom Hanks is a Fed.
No, Tom Hanks is a pedophile according to QAnon.
I think he's a Fed.
And well, I don't think he's a Fed. I think he's an actor. I think that he's that's all he is an actor. But the story I'm getting that, trying to find out where they pulled that. But okay, so there was a theory that the QAnon, Miko Hayes does this one better than I do. But there's a theory that Q was pushing that COVID-19 and the lockdowns were really the government making moves to stop child sex trafficking with children in underground tunnels and in sex trafficking rings of children, and that if you came down with COVID-19, it's because they put this supply, they put it in the adrenochrome supply of children.
Oh, that theory.
And that if you were drinking the blood of children, you would get COVID-19, and that's what they were. This was the QAnon theory that a lot of the deeper rabbit hole people were actually saying. And then, I shit you not, and again, we all know QAnon. They believe that Trump is basically the savior of this country. And so what does it mean when you have a group of people that believe that coming down with COVID-19 means you're a pedophile and the government's onto you, and that you're going to be eventually taken to Gitmo or possibly suicided? And that's just the way it is. That's what they were preaching, right?
Yep.
Well, did I lose you, Mercedes?
Yep. No, I already knew about that. But my theory is that
I'll just leave this on the screen.
that's what I mean, because of course they do.
Because of course they do, but they believe he got it on purpose. Mercedes, we live in an interesting world.
CJ,
QAnon followers believe the virus is fake, but also that Trump has it, and they're dangerously hyped about it. But yet, I can swear to you that they thought that this was all Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, all these demonic, satanic, pedophile, cult, kid blood drinking worshippers are.
okay, but I want to know, if I drink child's blood, will I get younger, or do you have to put it on your face?
Well, there's things where pharaohs believe that they just could soak in the blood of children.
Pharaohs also were really inbred, like clubbed feet, like the ancient Egyptians. The Egyptians. Why'd you gotta bring aliens into this?
Well, I didn't bring aliens, but all right, we can go there too. We can go there too. So again, this is where we're at, Mercedes. So try to meet Q where they're at right now. I mean,
Meet them where they're at.
where do you meet them where they're at, Mercedes?
You look at them and you go, come with me back down the rabbit hole. We're going to go pick up all of the clues you missed, and then we're going to direct you to the real people who are doing this. Because it's not like the idea is wrong. It's the people that they are demonizing in the idea that are incorrect. I fully believe the government was using COVID to keep us home so that they could do things like change the batteries in the pigeons.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you say to somebody like Andrea here who says, I'll dismiss your party because they haven't been able to win in 40 plus years? What would you say to her in that aspect?
That's fine because good ideas don't require force.
Yeah, right. Or good ideas are, again, in this aspect, and that's what I'd say to Andrea, is that it's hard to honestly win a rigged system.
I would say honestly, in all honesty, let me just, my eyebrows are very light right now. Anyway, can
you win a rigged system?
In all honesty, the American political system in this country is so painfully slow that any meaningful socioeconomic change takes about a half century to 3/4 centuries to actually fucking change. Hence why segregation's only been a major part of our life for 60 years? But we're still having race wars today. Obviously, because humans are unable to adapt to change quickly due to the information put out by the government. So, if they keep us mad and trashing our shit, they're going to make money off of us. So why would you vote for a party that wants to fix the problems when you are part of the problem by giving them your money so that they can keep stealing your shit and trashing your fucking government and local societies?
Mercedes, if you don't have consent, what do you have?
Tyranny.
That's a good way to put it. When we talk about the consent of the governed.
Tyranny.
Yeah, we should preface that first.
Tyranny.
Yeah,
I loved you doing that to Adam. Sidebar.
Yeah.
That was fucking great.
I got to work on not being such a sycophant when I'm saying I support Adam for president.
I support Spike Cohen for president.
I would like to see Adam and Spike debate.
I would like to see Adam and Spike.
We should make them debate.
We should make them debate.
We should.
We should.
Yeah.
Let me see a schedule though, because I'm not sure what Spike's life is right now.
He hasn't put you. Oh, Spike's schedule. I was gonna say Adam hasn't.
I have Adam's schedule. He gave me kings. He gave me the keys to the kingdom.
You know what? When Adam goes to garden time, I go to video game time.
Do you really? When Adam goes to garden time, I meditate.
I only put in the time that Adam puts into the show.
I don't, because I'm an actual candidate.
Well, no, I mean I'm a candidate too, Mercedes, but I'm
into the show.
Yeah, I'm the reddest district in all of South Dakota. Like it is 9 out of 10 Trumpophile here.
My district is purple.
Yeah, no, you're lucky.
I am lucky, and I know that, and that's why I don't rub it in other people's faces like I want to.
In fact, my district's so red, they're like, "Why are you even running, CJ?" And it's like the principle of the matter.
And this is why we're friends.
Yeah, I mean, again, CJ, you have 0 chance of winning. Yeah, but I'm still running, ain't I?
It doesn't mean I can't do what I'm doing.
Well, it's just
God-given right.
I didn't have to endorse pedophilia in order to run for office, and I was really grateful of that.
I hate pedophilia. My favorite thing.
Mercedes, if you ran as a Democrat and they're like, "All right, Mercedes, in our platform, we're like okay with having kids, we're passing laws where kids can consent to adults," like, you'd be like, "Fuck that." Yeah, I know. Isn't it fucked?
Like, I don't even want to get into this.
I know it's almost like a what the fuck Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
Oh fuck. I'm gonna call this a This Is Shit Tuesday.
I also thought today was Tuesday, which means that this morning when I woke up and thought it was Wednesday, I freaked out because I missed Tuesday somewhere.
I lost the whole day, huh?
Well, but
No,
yesterday,
technically I gained it back because I thought it was Wednesday for a moment.
yeah, but all day yesterday, I like in the morning yesterday because I've been getting up early this week because we're within the 30-day window, and I almost didn't graduate because I don't do homework. I think homework's stupid, pointless, redundant bullshit pushed on us by the government.
Vote for Mercedes for class president.
No, do not vote for Mercedes for class president. I was Skills USA president because I think skills matter.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, but you would push the skills agenda if you were class president.
Yeah.
So you could
also
infiltrate the rigged system, though.
But I was also a band leader, too. I was just a student body leader. I was in everything.
Yeah.
I was a leader of my peers.
So you were groomed to take over and abolish government.
I've been saying this all year!
Oh, shit, Mercedes. You're a hoot, you know that?
Yeah, that's why I'm running for government. You have to be insane to do this.
I don't know if you're technically insane. I think that's a interesting word that I'll reserve for, like, the truly insane.
Like Trump?
I'd say you've got balls.
I do have balls. I have big balls. Who has big balls? I do. I have such big balls that my my opponent for this race is approved for political ads. Well, he's not approved. There are people putting political ads on Facebook for him.
Are they attacking you yet? I'd like to see an anti-Mercedes message.
No, they absolutely...
She wants you to think for yourself.
Exactly, they can.
She wants to expose our crimes.
She wants you to smoke weed while hunting whales on the back of a camel in Nebraska.
While ordering recreational nuclear warheads on Amazon.
All I want is to have a grenade launcher, and only so I can potatoes.
That's okay. Real quick, that's like an icebreaker I like to use. Is okay. Well, what is libertarianism, CJ? Well, how do you feel about recreational nuclear warheads? And the response I get a lot of the time is, CJ, you can't say everybody gets a nuclear warhead.
If everybody has one, we're less likely to use them, aren't we?
Not true. Definitely not true. Like
you're crazy.
No. The more in production we have, the more likely we are to use them. That's a fact. I mean, just having.
Okay, but killing people is bad, Carl.
I mean, you want me to condemn murder? I'll condemn murder. Yeah, that's. Yeah, Carl. I get it. Yeah, just put a little hat on that. You should. Just get a little like Barbie hat or something.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, a little llama hat. But so, yeah, no, life, liberty, pursuits of happiness, the non-aggression principle. We don't agree with murder, manslaughter, mayhem, carnage, and destruction. So that how do you feel about recreational nuclear warheads conversation changes when you realize, well, first and foremost, what does the Second Amendment actually mean? When it also takes you down the rabbit hole of do you have the right to defend yourself against a government with the equal amount of force that they, if not greater than, that they possess themselves?
I think if the government has it, I should have it because I need to protect myself from the government.
Mercedes, if I can't order a 50 caliber machine gun delivered right to my door express overnight, the Second Amendment's already been violated. So don't tell me about your Second Amendment and your president who is protecting your Second Amendment and will always defend it. Don't tell me about your Trumpophile narrative, your regurgitated talking point. I mean, pedocrats, we already know they want to take your guns, but at least Trumpophiles want to take your guns slower.
It's because
You're redneck royalty. Explain this in redneck terms.
Get the fuck off my land and give me back my guns, motherfuckers.
Yeah, but the government already is going to take your land through civil asset forfeiture because you don't actually own land. There are no actual legitimate landowners in this country.
I hate
Which is
you.
where Adam's Gardenia project's going to come into a big hassle in about 9 months or so.
I mean, if the natives have problems keeping the government off of their land with treaties that are protecting them, that the government just is like, oh, piece of paper, you're right. We're going to rape your women and burn your villages down. Thank you.
And by the way, your vote consented to that too.
Or
Yeah.
or not vote.
Yeah,
Because not voting means that you are helping the voice of the oppressor be louder because you are not objecting. You are willingly submitting to be a slave so that they can keep raping your neighbors and we can all be miserable together.
as long as the government is killing people that I don't like,
That's fine.
there'll never be another form
Okay.
of government that'll do it to me.
But also that idea failed because Kyle Ritterhouse's victims were actually legitimate bad people and people were still mad about it.
Okay, so last time I was live and in the world of the internet, this was a thing where people were arguing back and forth on whether or not this guy was guilty of murder or not. I still don't think he's guilty of murder.
I think that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and because of that inability to make those decision makings, he should be tried as a child because his prefrontal cortex isn't developed, and our government is pushing for violence. This is state-sponsored violence.
I would say
This is why we're censored.
I would say probably. I would say that it has a lot to do with the fact that if you charge him as an adult, you're taking away certain aspects, and if you charge him as a kid,
if you charge him as an adult, then we need to go back and change the laws because if you can try him as an adult, that means everybody his age is an adult now.
Now you're lowering the age of adulthood, which lowers the age of consent.
There we go. Exactly. So now that is the moral dilemma. At what age can you consent? I say 25.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? I'm going to say that I can't consent still to this day.
Okay, there you go. I say 25 is the
No,
oldest
no, no, no.
you
You're
can consent at.
36. You can't consent until 36. Now what?
Because okay, then I'm a child and I shouldn't be running for office. Where is my money, government? If you're going to make me be a kid longer, better fucking support me. Daddy government, give me that teat. I'm just kidding.
Somewhere out there is a libertarian having a brain aneurysm off of that line right there. So
I can't argue Republican points, but I sure as hell can argue the Democratic ones.
You can. Holy cow. Somewhere out there I can see a libertarian twitching and like.
Do you know how hard it was to stay serious?
Honestly,
I can't even keep it together now.
Mercedes, any bold predictions for 2020 elections, since that's what this is all about today?
Didn't I already make my prediction last time we were on, and so far it's been right?
Yeah, what was that for a refresher?
Trump was going to get COVID, and we were going to turn it into a civil war.
Yeah. It's so disappointing that we can have these moments in history where, again, we're talking about the future of our country, our children, and I look at my kids and I go, there's no way I want to leave this world to you. And so why do I care about what convicted felons who were put into their popular roles inorganically to bully people into voting for and making it look cool to vote for that side or the other? That's why celebrities.
Libertarians.
You
went there.
That's why it's so close.
Freudian slips.
Yeah, that's why some of these people exist, because they're swaying libertarian opinion, and there is a significant proof and evidence that the Libertarian Party can swing elections.
We can.
And it doesn't take long for a grassroots message to get pushed out in this party, and so it's a real mistake. It's a real mistake that I think a lot of people make when they deal with the Libertarian Party is that we're actually a lot more organized and connected than people think. And so from an outsider's perspective, it's easy for you to nitpick one or two little things that our top candidates have said. But we know, someday you and I are going to be on a Zoom with Spike. Someday you and I are going to be on a
What do you
debate.
mean someday? I am on Zooms with Spike.
Right, you're already there.
I'm already connected to National. I realized the other
you're
day.
You're gonna be going to conventions. You're going to be in debates with other candidates. You're going to be involved in regional leanings, in things that in your state meetings. Like these are all things that the outsiders don't realize that we're already doing.
We are I am the vice chair of the Tri-Cities Libertarian Party. That is my affiliate of the Libertarian of Nebraska Party.
Yeah, I'm the
involved,
executive. I'm on the executive committee as well.
And we are both candidates, and our opinions matter to the people at the top of our ticket.
So it blows my mind again how Trumpophiles and pedocrats think that they can control the narrative about our party when really we go into a group, and when I say things like, did you hear what that convicted felon Trumpophile says about our party? I assure you, none of them give a fuck.
Yep.
And it's funny to point out the ability to say that these people were most likely put there because of influence, not because of they're this genuinely good person that is cares about their country and community. No, you're a useful idiot, and the ideas that your party is pushing, they require force in order to implement. Our party
and your fear. And they don't use physical force. They use fear and manipulation.
No, they use force. It's called government. It's
okay. I mean, but they're not.
Under our laws.
What I mean is they're not physically coming to your home yet and strong-arming you into what they want you to believe. They are using fear and manipulation to get in your brain and play mind games. And being a libertarian right now means that we're not in that mind game. And we have a psychologist as our presidential candidate. We are literally the only sane party right now.
I mean, Mercedes herself, through all this crazy, has propagated mental health Mondays just because of the insanity. You're talking people like...
we are the adults left in the country that are watching it burn while everybody else flocks to the golden calf.
It's like I say, we sit here and we see our computers. What fire is happening right now? Well, it's this, and this. And, when the main headline comes out, that's why I like Adam versus the Man, which I'm going to have to get to here in a minute. But
he hasn't sent links yet.
Well, I get that. But I also have to set up the other link for stream.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You have to be an adult.
Yeah, I got to handle the responsibilities there. But, yeah, to conclude this real quick on my point for election 2020, It to me, regardless of whether or not Trump wins or Biden wins, the state still wins. It's whether or not we have 4 years of the blue Socialist Party or 4 more years of the red Socialist Party ahead of us, the country's still going to collapse. Yep. The dollar's still going to collapse.
Yep.
And all these useful idiots that help perpetuate it one way or another are going to be thrown to the wayside because you were done being a useful idiot. Now they're going to elevate the next branch of useful idiots.
Exactly. And that's just it is right now. That's why I, and probably CJ, didn't choose a federal office to run.
Oh, I will never run for federal office.
But for me personally, I am searching for my candidate spot because I'm taking this seriously because I care about my community, my city, my grandparents, my child. That is why I'm running, because of my local community. Right. I want to protect my local community from the state. The state can protect itself from the feds.
Right. I mean, I'm running for District 23, and all the jobs that I do for my corn season are within this district. I drove to every one of the counties. I worked in every one of the counties. I got to see farmers and interact in communities and in the district that I'm running for, and I got to interact in that way. And it's really interesting when you get to tell someone that you've never met at a gas station, yeah, you'll see my name on the ballot, vote for me. And
or when,
say, yeah, no, I definitely got my vote, And
my favorite thing to do right now, leading up, since the election is so close, everybody in my district is talking about the election, but I've been at home, I've had COVID, I've been sick, I'm high risk, I diverted my entire campaign to making masks and helping my community with food and getting the things that they needed. Like, I had the in on where the toilet paper was. Like, I being connected the way I am by being a member of my community meant that I could direct people to the resources they needed during COVID. Just because I was living here. Fuck politics. And I told them, don't tell people I'm doing this for you because this is not political. This is personal.
Yeah.
You can tell people later, but right now, I don't want you to tell people about this. This is me doing me. I'm not using this politically. And people got mad at me.
I'd be doing this if I wasn't running for office.
And that's what I said. And people were mad at me. They're like, no, you need to go tell people you're doing this. No, I will not use this for political gain. Now that we know how the government fucked up, I will.
Yeah, right. No,
I can.
But again, remember, Trumpophiles, la, 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 la.
No, it's okay because Trump has COVID.
Oh, which, according to Q, means he's a pedophile that's waiting to go to Gitmo. I mean, if that's...
I don't see this as a lose for us.
I mean, again, this is the Q theory just about, 7 months ago, that when it first came out that if you got COVID, you were a pedophile waiting to go to Gitmo and most likely involved in child sex trafficking rings. So now that of course the president has it's okay. It's okay.
Trump got COVID on purpose because of course Of course he would sacrifice himself to infect the people around him to bring down the swamp.
But you and I both know that Trumpophiles are going to defend Trump regardless of what he does.
It's fine.
Until the day he dies.
I'm more concerned with McAfee being arrested in France.
You know what? I'm sure we're going to get into that on Adam's show today.
I think so too. That's a great segue to end the show.
Yeah. All right, Mercedes. Tell everybody where they can find you since you are the guru of the countdown clock today.
What? We have 27 days?
You tell me.
I don't know. I know that you put it up earlier, but I missed it.
I forgot the number.
27 days and 14 hours. Wow, I am good at that. 27 days, 14 hours, 14 minutes, 47 seconds.
We can watch you count down that clock for hours.
I know, honestly.
Oops. So, yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
Hey, thank you. Remember, go vote. You can go to your local elections commissioner right now. I was in the courthouse yesterday. I had to go talk to our elections commissioner, and people were there voting, so you can go there. I assume everybody got postcards for mail-in ballots. Once you get those mail-in ballots, you can physically take them to your county commissioner, election commissioner's office, not county commissioner, elections commissioner, and put them directly there so you know that they are there. Once there, they are not messed with until they are counted. They are safe. So with that, remember to vote. Taxation is theft. And we just want the good life for all, y'all.
Mercedes, thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.
See you later.
All right, you guys. Well, election 2020, it's screwy. Everybody's got an opinion. But hey, I'm just some lonely guy in Meth, Dakota, just stating my political opinion. If it's easier for you to ignore me than to digest the truth that we're saying, so be it. I want to thank Mercedes for coming on today and talking that election libertarian talk with me. I'm going to go run Adam versus the man. I hope you guys will tune in. I'm sure he's got a lot to talk about today. And if you join the Producers Club, you can come bullshit with us backstage and have a good time like always. So with that being said, you guys have a good day or don't. Choice is always yours.